So for this Potpourri project, I'm going to be using a gorgeous piece of Brisbane jacaranda. It's 140mm by 90mm in depth. The grain can be quite plucky. It can pluck out a fair bit, so I just have to be careful of that when I'm turning it. I'm just going to put it between centers, and I'm going to have the grain facing, see the way the little grain lines here, they've got that smile face facing towards the headstock, because I'm going to form a tenon on this side, then turn it around. But when it's sitting on the table like this, the grain lines will have that smiley face. That's just the way I like doing things. I don't know why, I just prefer it like that. But each to their own, I suppose they say. I've got the cup center on the tailstock here, just to hold the piece in nicely, because the cone center will keep driving in, just because I know someone will probably ask. And right now I'm just checking to make sure the piece is running true, if you're wondering what I'm doing with my thumb as well. So wherever the timber has a big gap, I know that I need to adjust it, and I've pretty much just jagged that first go. Make sure everything's locked off. The tool that I'm going to use to just quickly form a tenon and then round this side over will be a 16mm bowl gouge. Speed down a little bit for the start. Face mask on, otherwise I'll start fogging up. 16mm bowl gouge by Woodcut tools, and the heel is removed. Not worried about. Rightio, so I'm just going to mark up for the tenon now. I've got my divider set for my VM 120 chuck with the shark jaws. Just back to the 16mm now. Okay, opposite side of the tenon, I'll make the foot. So I'm thinking, normally I go 1/3, but because it's a Potpourri holder, I'll have the foot a little bit bigger, just because, you know. So I'll make it about there. 45-degree tool rest to the piece. I'm just going to start pulling that side away. Might use the 19mm. Thompson tool, sharpened to 55 degrees. And what I'm doing, I'm eyeing it up about 1/3 up the top here, roughly, or halfway, where I'm going to start rounding it over. I reckon about there, about halfway. Get a bit of clearance there. Glen Lucas GL5. Just going to stop before I get to that edge, because I don't want to chip that top out too badly. Just make sure I can feel a little bit of a flat spot. Where's that? There. Flat spot there. Not a bad finish off the gouge. See what I mean? It's a little bit, it can be a little bit plucky. Obviously on the end grain, it'll be pluckier. Oh, Kezza, will you behave? My father-in-law would say, Kezza, behave yourself. Yeah. Right. Just getting clearance away from the tailstock so I can start a push cut. All right. My tool rest sounds very rusty. But I promise you it's probably just needs a bit of oil. Did I get it? More. I don't know if you saw me then, but I'm looking up the top here. I'm looking up the top at the shape, just switching hands, left-handed turning. I always try and use both hands. Actually, you know, a cool tool we can use is the Phil Irons shear scraper. That's a pretty little piece, I think. I just want to round this little bit here. I want to round that over. Now, if I have to stop the video, it's because we're getting a lot of storms lately here in Bris Vegas. Still Queensland, beautiful one day. Oh, better the next. That was very hard. Knockout bar. Now, I reckon we can take that off because we're going to have the stability. Yeah, little Reagan, she's not real sweet with it. I wonder if you guys can see that. Little Ray over here. Ray. It's okay, honey. It's okay. We're against the elements today. VM120 chuck, shark jaws. Just gonna put that on there. The thread's nice and clean still. And at the end there, which was a very woeful attempt, very crapful, I give it a flick. So when I sand later on, it doesn't, the chuck doesn't unwind itself from the spindle. Brisbane Jacaranda, it's such beautiful timber. It's gorgeously bond. Look at that grain in there. It's just stunning stuff. Tighten that right up. Do not want that coming undone. Clean up this face. Clean the face. You see then when I tried to pull that back, watch. Obviously I'm not holding the front of the gouge really tightly, but you just ride those undulations, and that's why I like pressing in. I like pressing in like that. It helps when I do that. I don't hit any of those undulations in it, and then at the end, then you can draw that gouge across. I find it works better for me anyway. Righto. So I'm happy with that. Well, not 100%, but I don't need to keep taking material away. I'm going to get our beautiful koala, very Australiana. Thank you very much, Pop's Shed, for sending it out to me. It's going to be a beautiful little Christmas gift. And now, with this gift, it's going to someone that is a lot older than me, and I want them to be able to use it with ease. So on these little Potpourri dishes, and I'm going to make another video about a Potpourri bowl. It'll be a box instead of a bowl, instead of a traditional shape. Just pointing out underneath here, if you can see it, I'll zoom in. Wow. Can you see those little feet there? Those little feet? I'm going to use those and create like a shoulder. So it'll go down and across, shoulder. And the reason for that is because I want this little lid to sit pronounced. So I want it to be raised up slightly so the end user can easily take it off. So there's no issue there in removing the lid. I don't know why I just winked at you, but I just did. Wow. So it's 63 mil. I'd love to see the face I just pulled just then when I was looking at that. Ah, Kez. I need to go in. Yep, that's right. So I'm just going to go 60 mil. Let's just call it 60 mil. Just there. I can barely see that, so I'll mark that up. Let's just make a little. And then I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's going to be a small opening, but we'll get to be able to do some hollowing because we haven't done any of that in a while. See how that looks there. Oh, cool. So we can go a bit more. Right, I won't use the parting tool. I'll just use the square end little scraper here. That's what it looks like just there. Little square end scraper. And I know I haven't been present on here as much as what I normally would be, but I have been exceptionally busy. I would like to get out more videos, but as we all know, what's coming around the corner is Christmas time, and for any wood turner out there, it's a very busy time. So my apologies, I haven't been able to get on the YouTube as much as what I want. Old YouTube University. So that's what we're looking for. That there. How cool is that? Two little koalas sitting in a tree, having a yarn. That's what I'm after. Right. I'm going to mark that because I'll hit it, I reckon. Mark that there. That's what we've got to remove in there. But I want to mark that up so I can see it. I'm just going to start by removing some material. Just a little 12mm gouge, just to start us off. And this is a Jimmy Clues 12mm gouge, and this is actually the tool that turned those inside of the 700 bowls. So it's shrunk in size a little bit, but not to worry. Still an effective little gouge. So I pretty much turn, and then I just, you know, the project that I want to film, I turn the cameras on. So you might see shavings of different colours around. You might see some bowls over in the background, but I try and fit this in as much as I can, so my apologies for not being on here enough. Righto, so the hollowing tool that I'm going to use is the Woodcut Pro-Forme. Has this cutter here. Now these can be exceptionally aggressive, so you can adjust the amount of aggressive cut you have. And I've got that fairly closed up, but I'll just do a trial run when I start. I bought this years ago. They come with different styles of necks. This guy here, you've got a proper like gooseneck, dogleg type one, and then your traditional sort of, well, like just your straight sort of hollowing gouge. So different styles of necks, very handy. Move that back a bit. Turn the lathe down a bit because that's a bit much. And hopefully they can still see that camera. You see that there? Hopefully there's some shavings caught in there. See that there? That's how it cuts. I just want to get down to the depth first. And this is fun because I never really do vessels or make hollow forms, so this is nice to just, I could use the bowl gouge and go down with the bowl gouge, but this is just nice to switch it up a little bit, you know. Righto, so we've got our depth now. I'm just going to switch the heads over, or the neck over to the gooseneck. Little Allen key on the bottom here. Undo that. Slip him out. Gooseneck in. Cutter. Cutter just comes off on this side here, like that, undo that. Put the cutter in this one, Allen key, back in there, and this will help us get around those this shoulder here. Be very handy. Right.
So I was told a really good point that I want to also pass on to everyone out there watching. You'll see when I bring the tool back, it dips down. It wants to dip towards the floor. The cutter comes towards that rim and dips down now. And the reason for that is because when I move that tool back along the tool rest and the swan section touches the tool rest, it wants to roll. So how to avoid that is move your tool rest back towards you, and then that way the straight section of the bar is being supported on the tool rest and not the swan section, and you won't get any of that rolling.
Oh, makes such light work of it. Awesome. Beauty about this lathe is that I don't have to stand at the end of the lathe. Undo a little pin here, and then I can rotate my lathe around. See that pin? That's a little locator. I don't want it to go full out like that. I just want to rotate it back until it stops. Yeah, so I don't have to stand at the end of the lathe. I can be more comfortable on the end here. Now we're cooking with gas. Oh. Alrighty, so I'm just going to check the thickness now. I think we're about there, and I'm not an octopus, so bear with me wherever I put my ruler down. That's why I love magnet trays. We've got about 7 mil, and I'm not going to go any thinner than that. Down the side, same, hopefully this camera can see, same sort of consistent thickness. I want it to be a little bit more weighty in the bottom, and that's because I want that weight to be down, planting the vessel. I don't know why I just did that, but I want the vessel to be weighted down, but feeling light. I'm just going to bring it around to the front and tidy up the front of the vessel. Tidy up this bit here. Make sure everything is running spot on to where it needs to be. See how that looks? Right, I'm just going to push it off to the end. I do want the shoulders to be down, the sides to be down a little bit, so it's easier to grab that little insert, like that. We'll grab our insert. Nice. Very pretty. Very pretty. Now I'm going to set up for sanding. So I'm going to use the Mike Mahoney's walnut oil here. I haven't used it on many pieces before, but I don't want to use like a friction polish because, you know, I just want to use something that's really easy to apply and that will penetrate deep into the timber, and that's looking really pretty already. And you can probably see those grain lines there on the side, that they're sitting up in that smiley face. Hopefully you can see that by now. And you can see how easy this is to apply. Just going to rub it all over it. Brings up that nice shine, or that nice figure, sorry, in the timber. And that way I won't have to run the lathe hectically with my fingers on the inside like that. Let's just splash some in there. And you see, I didn't want this piece to be super shiny because that's not the purpose that I want anyway. Some people like putting a really heavy duty shine on their Potpourri pieces, but you can see that front there, that gorgeous figure on the front. I like more of a satin finish on pieces, utility pieces anyway, and I consider this a bit more of a, you know, utility sort of item. A bit more on the inside there. Let that soak nice, because this timber is so dry. It's going to just lap this oil up. Now you're probably all wondering how I'm going to remove the foot off this, but I don't think my shark jaws will, oh, hear that little, oh yeah, vessels, cool. Take the chuck off, bring back the VM100, going back on there, change chuck keys, tighten that down, and then slowly expand it up. I don't want to put too much pressure. Yep. Righto, back to the 16mm woodcut bowl gouge, and I'm just going to lightly take this down now, lightly, bit by bit. And I'm actually going to continue that around a little bit. Sand. So these lines help me center up my branding iron, so it's smack bang in the center every time. And then I use the rotary sander, lightly sand it off, and then apply some oil as I did previously. Brisbane Jacaranda Potpourri holder. Nice brand on the bottom there. Nice little sweep coming up around the side. Flat top. Easy to take that little insert out, popping it back on. Nice and elegant in weight, not too heavy. Very suitable for a Christmas present, in my opinion, for anyone out there wanting a little project to make for someone special. Not bad at all if I say so myself. Cute little vessel. If you're after another little project, check this video out here. It's the milk paint bowl that I made with the Glenn Lucas Woodturning Club. There's lots of texturing involved, so check that video out there if you're after another little project to do before Christmas. But thank you all so much for watching. I'll talk to you all directly. Cheers. Bye.